All right, y'all. This one is this one kind of tricky for me. This one kind of tricky for me a little bit. I know how I feel about it, but I'm leaning left to right, right to left a little bit on this one. I'm not balanced on this one, right? Really. So first off, I want to say my condolences to the mother because I know that pain hurts to lose a child, and I can understand that pain of losing a child. So my condolences definitely to the mother for having to lose a child. Don't know the whole background. Don't know how everything went on that. I do a lot of videos speaking on everybody is a mother. There was a young mother at one point in time to became now they're a grandmother and so forth on. But we still had a beginning. That's all I'll say. We had a beginning, and what decisions did we make in the beginning? We have to always understand our actions and what we are doing in the beginning for later on in life. We can have it can have a negative or a positive impact. So definitely want to say my condolences to the mother on that for having to go through this. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna show y'all this footage. This happened. This is the body cam of a police shooting a 17-year-old young man in the back. Shot him, I think, like 5 times in the back. While he was fleeing in the car. And let's watch the video. Let's just watch the video, and then we'll come back and chop it up.
U.S. Justice Department are looking into what led to a deadly police shooting here in Washington, D.C. This comes one day after the body cam video of the encounter was released. 17-year-old Delano Martin was shot by a U.S. Park police officer on March 18th. As CNN's Brian Todd reports for us now, police were responding to a call about a stolen car. They then stumbled upon Martin, who was sleeping in a car that was allegedly stolen. And a warning here, some viewers may find the body cam video disturbing.
Shortly before 9 o'clock a.m., March 18th, police body cam video shows officers responding to what police say was believed to have been a stolen car near a federal park in Washington, D.C. Inside the vehicle, 17-year-old Delano Martin, asleep in the driver's seat. The car is running. In the video, just released by the U.S. Park Police and the D.C. Metropolitan Police, officers from both agencies are heard strategizing on how to approach the vehicle.
Here's the plan. He's knocked out. The back window is just a plastic. I'm going to try to cut that out quietly. Unlock the door. If he doesn't get started, doesn't wake up, then we're going to try to get in there, grab him before he puts that car in gear.
One officer heard telling the others, if the suspect tries to drive away, let him go.
If he takes off, but yeah, just don't get caught inside of that car. You know what I mean?
At one point, an officer enters through a back door. Another officer opens a door on the driver's side.
Don't move.
The car suddenly drives off. One officer falls off the car while another is still in the back seat. Police say the driver did not comply with their commands.
Stop, man. Just let me out. Let me out. Stop, bro. Shoot.
The body cam video then shows several shots being fired at Martin. The car crashes into a nearby house. The video shows officers pulling Martin out and trying to revive him. Police say Martin died at the scene. They say a gun was found inside the car. A lawyer for Martin's family says one officer in one body cam video seemed to indicate that when they initially approached the car, he hadn't seen a gun.
It was very clear to him that there was no gun. He said, he has his hand on his waist, but I don't see anything there. So there was never any threat for the use of guns.
The FBI and federal prosecutors have launched a civil rights investigation into the shooting. None of the officers involved have yet been identified by either police agency. Martin's mother says she wants their names made public and wants them to face justice.
My son should still be here. But instead, I want all the officers punished for all their roles. This pain hurts so bad.
And showing you the scene now where the shooting took place, the officers converged on the vehicle right about where that black pickup truck is. The vehicle then moved down the street in the opposite direction there, then crashed into a house a couple of blocks down and to the left. What we can tell you this afternoon also is that the Park Police will not confirm the current status of their officer who shot Delano Martin, but the Park Police Officers Union is defending that officer, telling the Washington Post, the head of the union telling the Washington Post that they believe the shooting was justified, that use of force was justified, and they're standing behind the actions that all the officers took. Jake?
About an hour south.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about this, man. First off, again, I want to make sure I say my condolences to his family and everybody that loved him. I know it's hard to lose someone. So I want to make sure I say that. My intentions are not malicious. I'm just trying to, again, being transparent and non-biased in this whole situation and giving my opinion of me looking at both sides and trying to understand both sides. That's all I'm going to do. But I'm going to give it to you raw like any other video I have given it before. All right. Now, let me say, I ain't saying that we all perfect. We all got flaws. Nobody's perfect. When we was all kids, we all did dumb stuff. We all made dumb mistakes. It doesn't matter you black, white, orange, purple, or gray. We all made wrong mistakes. I will say this. I follow Dr. Richie on YouTube, and Dr. Richie is somebody I respect his opinion. I respect a lot what he do. I definitely respect him and what he's doing. And I know we can look at this video and say, man, when you see the video, he's driving off and, he's driving. He ain't pulled the gun. His hands is on the steering wheel. And you could even assume as far as this, if it was a white person, they probably wouldn't even shot him. If it had been a white person driving, they probably wouldn't have shot him. I'm not going to say they wouldn't have exactly, or they would have exactly. But the chances of them probably not shooting him are more higher than him getting shot. Then he would have got shot. It would have been more lower. So now, taking that into account, what started this situation? What started? A stolen vehicle. We got to start at the beginning. You got to start at the beginning. What got this situation to where it was at? It was because of a stolen vehicle. Now, break it down. The young man hadn't been in a stolen vehicle. Never would have been an encounter with the police. Nobody would never been trying to sneak up on him to startle him. Because you know why? He wouldn't have been in a stolen vehicle. All right. So we're going to, that's the facts. That's where we at. That's the facts we have now. That the vehicle was presumably stolen. And they reckon that they got it from, I guess, running the tags or whatever, and came back, vehicle stolen. Now the next question. Was the officer malicious intent to hurt, harm, and kill him? Was that what they're trying to do? I would say no, and I'm gonna say why I think they malicious intent wasn't to kill him is because the way I'm looking at it, in the initial gathering when they was all on the curb and they showed the video, it showed them saying, hey, they were strategizing the plan of how we're gonna do. Look, the rear passenger window's broken and it's got tape on it. Cut the tape in. I'm gonna try to go in through the back. Another officer goes on to the opposite side of the driver's side. We're gonna attack simultaneously, try to get him before he put the car in drive. Okay. The officer said, hey, if he drives off, let him go. Just let him go. Don't we just let him go. We don't want no, just let him go. Then he said, but do not get caught in that car. I understand why he said don't get caught in that car. Because looking at it from a threat situation, I don't want to get caught in the middle of something if it goes wrong. And this person will do what he did, drive off. So I understand why he's saying don't get caught in the car. Because let's show this. Officer got caught in the car and how he took off driving. Let's say he get up to miles of 100 miles an hour trying to get away. Adrenaline rushing. He's startled. He's trying to get away. I don't want to go to jail. And darting out into traffic and 18-wheeler coming. Boom! Hit the car. Officer dead. Because this young man, they trying to get to somebody that stole a car and not want to pull a gun or something. If he not putting the gun and got caught in the back seat, and now he did. That's how I get it. Why I'm looking at playing. Now, what you saying? He stole somebody's car, just let him go, or they should have just knocked the car's running. So obviously he was prepared if something was to jump out fast, he was ready to go. That car belonged to somebody, so it's not right to just let him have the car that he ain't pay for. He don't own. He didn't take his money to buy a purchase legitly. It's only right that they get it back to the rightful owner. So how do they supposed to handle it? They got to get this. They got to make this, try to do it the safe way. You got to do something. All right. So now they go to attack. One officer go in through the back, creep. The other officer go in and they go to grab him. Sometimes these guys, you so slim, you fast, quick, you got the energy. It's hard to get a hold to you. They got gloves. Somehow he got a way to get that car and drive and take off. The officer that, thank God he didn't get ran over by the car. That could have changed his life forever. The officer that's in the back that did get caught in the car. Here's where the question come in. Was he justified in shooting him in the back in that particular situation? Whoo! That's the $1 million question right there. Yep. Even though they're trying to say it was a gun in the car, that guy, his hand was not on the gun. He wasn't thinking about the gun. He was thinking about getting away. So you can't bring up the gun. The gun, you got to take the gun out the equation because it wasn't in the video camera to say that it was part of the threat assessment because they found the gun was after the fact. So you can't say that. So now the only thing you have is the guy is driving. He's telling him to pull over. He won't pull over. And he's speeding. Either way, this is a life or death situation for the both of them, because he can get killed by getting in an accident. He could get killed. Accident could be many ways. So accident. And the officer could get killed too. Man, if I had to say something wrong, if I say was the officer justified, in my opinion, I can't not say he wasn't justified. I know I hate it, but what he was, okay, he didn't have to shoot him 5 times. I will say that. He didn't have to shoot him that many times. He could have shot him once in the shoulder. He was in close enough range to disable him and make it to where he could have just been shot in the shoulder to get him to the doctor. Officers are not trained to immobilize necessarily, but yes, they are, because they do it with a lot of white kids. So I'm not gonna say they not. Yes, they are. They are trained to do it. They are trained not to be as violent because they do it with a lot of white kids. And I'm just gonna just state the obvious. They do it with a lot of white children. So he could have shot him in the shoulder, but he shot him 5 times in the back. I'm so torn between this one, man. This is a tough one because I'm thinking of the fact of officers, you look at how many times white kids get away, do things, and they make it home. Even if they do 2, 3 years in prison, they make it home. But this young man didn't make it home. He put himself in the situation, no doubt. He put himself in the situation. The officer didn't put himself in the situation to do that, because if he hadn't been in a stolen car, he wouldn't have been in that situation. I need y'all to leave a comment on this one. What y'all think? Do y'all think he was justified or not? I guess you're like, well, Mel, we want to know your opinion, though. Do I think he was justified on this? I'm in the car, speeding. Man, stop. Put a car over. Put a car over. He started speeding up. Man, pull over, man. I understand why he shot him, man, in so many ways. I understand why he shot him. I hate that the mom them had to go through that, but you gotta take out and look on the outside. If you was in that car and somebody speeding off that could get in an accident and kill you from their bed, they don't care about your life. They just care about trying to get away. They just want to get away. All that could have been avoided, man, if he hadn't never stole that car, man. And I know it ain't perfect, but man, the officer could have shot him in the shoulder. I get him that. But he could have shot him in the shoulder, and possibly the kid could have still kept driving. It's a lot of possibilities in here. Everybody want to just look, but since he died, it's like, well, he didn't have to do that. They need to be named. I don't see the officer being in the wrong, because their intentions wasn't malicious, and they wasn't trying to go in there to kill him. It was just, don't get caught in that car. You get caught in that car, your life is in danger now. You gotta stop him some kind of way. You gotta stop him. And they looking at trying to wrestle with him and tussle. And they pepper spray him. He could have pepper sprayed him. I mean, yeah. There's so many different ways you're gonna look at it. He could have did this thing, that. He could have tased him, pepper sprayed him. He didn't have to shoot him, and all these different things. But he had to do something to immobilize him. And unfortunately, it was the gunshot that that was the deterrent of choice that he chose. And rest in peace. Man, we not perfect. So I'm not gonna sit here and point no finger at you and say like you were horrible. We not perfect. Everybody made mistakes. Everybody made mistakes. It's just, that was a costly mistake. So you got Mail Mann, man. I rock with y'all, man. Love y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to iammailmann. Leave your comments. I definitely want to hear y'all thoughts on this, man, because this is one of them situations that we talk about where we see again. I'm gonna go back to that young lady who got the little toddler she letting them cussing and thinking it's cool. You know, all these kids got to grow up, and they're gonna think that the world don't accept them being irresponsible and irrational and reckless, and the world ain't. That's why you gotta make sure you teach them right as they growing up. Love y'all. Make sure y'all go and rock with me, man. Hey, you can make that $15 monthly subscription on I Am Mail Mann, or you can always donate on the Cash App, man. That's number one thing. But we gonna keep it rocking, baby. Woo woo. We out of here.